Welcome to this review, and as you can see here, today I'm reviewing and going through all the features and through sweet and sour at the end of the new Axion laser range finding thermal scope made by Pulsar. It's the full name is Axion XQ38 LRF, so laser range finding. You probably know, if you're in a market for thermal monoculars or handheld scopes, that Axions have been on the market for almost 2 years now. At the beginning of 2019, they were first presented at SHOT Show at that year, and then at EVA. And now they're slowly upgrading their lineup. They started with, I think, 3 devices: the XM30 key, then XM30 and XM38. Then they discontinued the 30 and the 38, and then introduced the XM22 key, and then XMS, and now XQ38 and XQ38 laser rangefinding. So it's quite a lot of models, quite a lot of confusion possible with all the namings and so on. Please check our other videos regarding this matter, because we go through all the models and differences between them. Hopefully, or I would say luckily, this model with a laser rangefinder integrated is the only one in the whole lineup. So it's a bit easier. You will not confuse it with any other Axion. It came out now in the second half of 2020. I'm sure that they were planning to show it at EVA 2020, but EVA never happened due to Corona. So when EVA was first rescheduled to September and then cancelled altogether, I think that then people at Pulsar decided, okay, we will go and launch new products just online and then send it around. So if you have seen other videos of us, you probably noticed that the previous XM Axions were quite a lot smaller. The model with the integrated laser rangefinder is even bigger than the normal XQ, so it's not such a compact device anymore. However, it still features, I would say, the best in class build quality. The housing is made out of magnesium. It's really, really well made, and also very nice to hold and so on. So still a nice device. As you can see, this device is made only for right hand use. It's impossible, well, it's really hard to use it with the left hand. It's not really usable, so right hand only, which I think at the end it's not such a big problem, since it's a scope for one eye only. So even if you're a left-hander, you will be able to use it with the right hand. It won't be such a big problem. It costs 2,290 euros at the moment, so roughly 2,300 euros, and at least to my knowledge is one of the cheapest thermal scopes on the market with an integrated laser rangefinder. When you take into account the image quality of this device, then you see that the price is really, really, I would say, acceptable. So you really get a lot for 2,390 euros. Magnesium housing, totally waterproof, IPX7 standard of waterproofing. You can even submerge the device and it will still work. So I think that Pulsar raised the bar of waterproofness and quality for all other manufacturers in recent years. The device will work from -25 to +40. This is due to the AMOLED display. I will talk more about the display later. It's powered by APS-5 batteries, so a completely new type of battery for this device. Again, I think that Pulsar has their own capability to produce batteries, and they're really now, I think they have 4 or 5 different types of batteries, which are all meant only for their devices. I also think this is the biggest plus of Pulsar, that they figured out that batteries are always the biggest problem with all thermal imaging devices, and because they produce their own batteries, they solve a couple of problems. First problem is that usually the batteries run out at the moment when you need them the most. And with those devices which have internal integrated batteries, you have to have an external power bank and a cable and so on. It's not really that handy at that moment. So pulsars where you are able to exchange the battery, the whole battery, in a matter of seconds, has a big advantage in this field. The second advantage is that these batteries are not really expensive. They are affordable. So I would suggest that any user of any pulsar device buys at least 2 batteries, because the ease of use when you have multiple batteries is really much better than with those devices that have integrated batteries. Also, the charger which you get together with the device has a slot for 2 batteries, not only 1. So they already figured out that it would be best to have 2 batteries with 1 single device. This is the first problem they are solving with this. The second problem is that you know that the batteries are, I would say, the weakest part of our whole society at the moment. Even though if you have smartphones, tablets, everywhere, the problem is that after a couple of years the battery starts to fade in its power, and with cell phones, with all devices which have integrated batteries, this is a huge problem, because you have to send the device back to the service so that they are able to exchange the battery. With Pulsar, that's much easier. If you are using this device for, let's say, 5 years and the battery starts to fade, you just buy a new battery. And then the life cycle of the device will be much longer because of this. Because honestly speaking, a lot of these devices, those which have internal integrated batteries, they just get disposed when the battery runs out of its life cycle. With Pulsar, this is not the case. Okay, more about the housing and so on. The startup time is really quick, and it also has an LED indicator when the device is powered on. A really important feature which I like a lot. Majority of devices are now ditching this feature, but I think it's really usable. Even though, because it has a really short startup time, just a couple of seconds, you will not be in a situation when you're powering up the device and you don't know when you're looking through it if it's powered on or not, because it's so fast on power on. But an LED, additional LED, just helps. You also get a 3 years warranty with this device, and servicing normally in Lithuania, where Pulsar thermal devices are made. What's in the box? You get a manual in a couple of languages which explains all the features and everything, how everything is done, well, how to use the device, and a warranty certificate for 3 years. You get an APS-5 battery with additional cap for which can either be on the battery, you can change these caps, or you're able just to seal the device without the battery inside if you wish. You get a new type of cable which has an Type-C connector and a normal USB connector for charging the batteries. A tripod adapter, because the thread for the tripod mounting on a new device is here. So you will need this accessory with the device. Honestly speaking, if you checked our other videos, we didn't even know that this adapter is always included with all the Axions XQ. And you get a charger for 2 batteries, really nicely made, heavy, with aluminum cooling system on the lower side, and a carrying pouch. Okay, if I go to the sensor, because the sensor is really important part of any thermal device. The XQ models of Axions, they come with the same sensors like previous Pulsar devices. It's vanadium oxide sensor, uncooled, with a resolution of 388 by 284. Majority of industry has these sensors. They're also used by Pulsar in cores, in helions, in quantums, in a lot of devices. However, the sensor in this device, 2020, has a much lower NATD. That means the factor which tells how sensitive this sensor is. So the noise equivalent to temperature difference is below 40 millikelvins. In reality, that means that the sensor detects smaller temperature differences and gives a better detailed image. So this is something what you notice quite quickly, that the image from this sensor is much better than it was from you could say, sensors with the same number of pixels and the same size of pixels before. So the pixel pitch, the dimension between one pixel and another, is 17 microns, so there are small pixels, and 50 hertz of refresh rate. So everything in an image goes smooth. Okay, calibration modes are the same like in all these devices: manual, semi-automatic, and automatic. The display is the same like in the Axion's XM30S, so 1024 by 768 pixels. It works down to -25 degrees, and what's really important, the eyepiece is now much more friendly to use with glasses. It's different than it was on the previous Axions. Well, they're still in production, but on XM Axions. And as you can see, it's completely different eyepiece than it was. I would suggest you check our comparison videos on these devices. Even though if you wear glasses, go with XQ38 or 38 with a laser rangefinder. The XQ38 is just the same without the laser. Okay, optical performance or optical specification: 38mm objective lens, like you can see in the name. 1.2 is the aperture, and the field of view is roughly 180 meters on 1000 meters, 178 to be exact, 1350 meters of range of detection. 7 color palettes, and close focus down to 3 meters. The menus, the same like on all Axions. This upper part is completely the same on all Axion devices. Menu button up and down, and power. Short press gives you contrast and brightness. Long press gives you all the other functions. Also, you are able to measure the distance with these buttons. Okay, I think we can go to the sweet and sour of this model. So I will go first through the sweet, what I really like about this device. And what I like is the build quality and the size. Even though it is much bigger than, I would say, Axions, it's not a small device anymore, but for right-hand use, it's still quite handy, because honestly speaking, this part doesn't affect how you use it. It's even better because you can lean your finger on it. But it's not a compact device anymore. Honestly speaking, with the laser part added, it's not a compact device anymore, but still, the build quality and the handling and all the fit and finish, it's still really, really good, the best in the industry, honestly speaking. The image quality, again, with this 40 NATD, 40 millikelvins NATD, and with this new sensor and 38mm objective lens, you get really a lot of details. I would say really good image quality. The battery system, it's sweet and sour at the same time. It's really good that Pulsar offers the possibility to change the batteries anytime you wish. This is really good, and I think this is a great advantage against all the competitors at the moment. The sour is that the battery on this device is not APS-3 like it was in all other devices, but it's a new type APS-5. So if you already have some other devices from Pulsar, let's say if you have Thermion, now you have 2 Pulsars with different types of batteries. This, I think, it's a little bit sour. It could have been done better. Okay, what I also like is that I wear glasses, and with this eyepiece, with this screen, it's no problem to use the device with glasses. I think it's really, really a step into the right direction. Okay, now what is sour? For me, the biggest shortcoming of this device is that it lacks the stream vision capability. Because stream vision, it's probably the best app on the market for hunters and the best app to control the thermal devices and so on. And this device, unfortunately, doesn't offer this possibility. It has no Wi-Fi connectivity and no multimedia. You're not able to take pictures, you're not able to take videos with it. For some people, this will be a big shortcoming. Okay, you gain laser range finding capabilities, which is really important because in majority of situations, you are not able to assess the distance to the animals good enough with any thermal optics, because you're looking into the screen, and depth perception is gone when you're looking into the screen, especially with thermal devices. So laser range finding capabilities are really great. This is a big addition which you're getting with this device, but you're losing the stream vision. So I would really like this device with built-in stream vision. It would be perfect. Okay, what is also sour a little bit, the names and the markings. I think that people are quite confused with so many different models with so many different names. The good side to it is that no matter which model you buy, you usually get really a lot of value for your money. And this is again a sweet point with this device, 2,300 euros roughly. You get a laser rangefinder, you get a really good thermal spotter, a great package. I believe that many people will opt for this device to have two functions, so animal detections and range estimation in one device. I also think that those who really wish to have the most compact device possible would go for XM Axions, because they're really pocket size. This one is not as small anymore. This would also could have been, it's not a sour, but it is where I think Pulsar could improve in the future generations to even make it, with all these functions, the same device even a little bit smaller. This would be add a stream vision, make it a bit smaller, and it's a perfect device. So I'm sure that in the next generations they will do exactly that. All in all, great value for money and really high quality fit and finish and image quality. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something useful from this video. Check our other videos, and if you like our channel, please subscribe.